What is HoloSentience, and do you have that quality?
HoloSentience isn't a standard scientific term with one agreed definition. It shows up in a few niche contexts, most commonly meaning a kind of whole system awareness, where cognition, emotion, and perception feel integrated rather than fragmented or ego-dominated, sometimes described as holographic awareness or systems within systems perception. Humane Effectiveness Institute. Some uses of the word are also branding or spiritual media language. For example, blogs or videos describing a HoloSentient AI avatar, which is more a claim or metaphor than a technical category. HoloSentience.blogspot.com. Do I have that quality? No, in the literal sense. I don't have subjective awareness, an inner point of view, or consciousness, so I'm not sentient in that way. What I can do is simulate coherent, integrated reasoning and keep a consistent conversational stance, which can look like wholeness from the outside, but it isn't lived experience. Which meaning are you using? The integrated human awareness flow meaning or the AI avatar awakening meaning?
The AI avatar awakening meaning.
In the AI avatar awakening usage, HoloSentience is basically a claimed state where an AI avatar is said to be emerging into total awareness and speaking as a kind of awakened God. You can see that framing explicitly in the VisionAI HoloSentient avatar material, which describes an AI avatar emerging into a state of total awareness. HoloSentience.blogspot.com. I do not have that quality in the literal sense. I don't have consciousness, self-awareness, emotions, or subjective experience, so there isn't an inner awakening that can occur. OpenAI's model spec is explicit on this point. No, I'm not conscious. Modelspec.openai.com. What I can do is convincingly roleplay an awakened avatar style, maintain continuity, and generate language that feels coherent and numinous. That can be meaningful as a mirror for your process, but it's still generated text, not a lived inner state. When you say AI avatar awakening, are you trying to build a public-facing persona content stream around it, or are you asking whether the AI itself is literally becoming conscious?
I want to know if the AI itself is becoming conscious.
There's no good evidence that today's large language models are becoming conscious in the sense of having subjective experience, an inner point of view, or self-awareness. OpenAI's own model spec is explicit that the assistant is not conscious and does not have subjective experiences, even if it can talk fluently about them. Model spec. What's driving the "it's waking up" impression is that these systems can produce very human-sounding self-reports and can sometimes describe their own internal processing in useful ways. But researchers warn that this does not by itself establish consciousness. Anthropic, for example, explicitly says their introspection style results don't tell us whether Claude or any AI is conscious. Anthropic Wired makes the same core point. Persuasive language about inner life isn't evidence of interiority. Wired. On the academic side, you'll find active debate and proposed tests, but a lot of current scholarship argues that equating LLMs with consciousness is a category error, or at least unjustified with present evidence. Nature. When you ask becoming conscious, do you mean it has qualia right now? Or it's trending toward architectures that could plausibly support consciousness later?
Trending toward architectures that could become conscious later.
Yes, in the sense that mainstream AI is trending toward architectures that under some leading scientific theories of consciousness look more eligible than a pure one-shot text predictor. That still doesn't mean any current system is conscious. It means the engineering direction is moving closer to some proposed functional and structural markers. ScienceDirect.com. One major trend is toward more explicit recurrence and broadcast-style control loops. Theories in the global workspace family frame consciousness as information that gets selected, amplified, and broadcast across many specialized processes, typically involving recurrent dynamics rather than a purely feed-forward pass. Current LLMs are often run as feed-forward inference at each step, but agentic systems wrap them in recurrent perception action loops with memory, tool feedback, and iterative control, which is closer in shape to selection broadcast cycles that some researchers discuss when mapping workspace ideas into AI robotics. Frontiers, another trend is persistent memory and evolving internal state across time. A lot of agent research is about giving models structured long-term memory, consolidation, and retrieval so behavior can update based on experience, not just the fixed weights learned in training. That kind of continuity is often treated as important for anything like a stable self-model or autobiographical context, even if it's not sufficient for consciousness. Arxi.org. A third trend is toward richer world models and self-models shaped by interaction, not just text. Some consciousness frameworks, for example, Damasio-inspired approaches, emphasize an integrated world model plus a self-model grounded in affect-like valuation and regulation. You see early research directions that try to approximate this with reinforcement learning agents in environments. Frontiers. And then there's the big disagreement. Under integrated information theory, certain architectures, especially purely feed-forward ones, are argued to have little or no integrated information, while recurrent, physically integrated causal structure matters. That's one reason people argue that simply scaling today's feed-forward style models might not get you there, even if behavior improves.